Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
I
it was.
I knew back then. I'm like, she's gonna make money. She gets this. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It was
cool.
the good old days, the good old days. But I
Yeah.
would say that my first wholesale deal was with you guys. I think. I don't even remember wholesaling just because I started doing everything possible. I became a real estate agent,
Yeah.
started wholesaling, started doing property, started doing short sale, wholesale.
Yeah.
So it was a mix of everything. Yeah.
Just want to let everybody know we are officially live, and
we're live.
We got over 20 people already. We got 25, 28 people. The numbers are rising, guys. We're so excited to have you. This is New Jersey Real Estate Investors Association. We're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to go super deep with the wholesaling strategy. What's it take? What do you got to do? Who do you got to be? The movers and shakers and bakers are going to be on this call with us. They already are. We're waiting on our last final speaker tonight. But just chime in with us, say hello, say what's up in the comment section. Let me know you're here. Give me a wave, give me a hello, and let me know where you're watching from in the comment section. All right. So put that down in the comment section. Let me know where you're watching from. And we just heard, Ella's got a phenomenal story. We're going to be diving in deep with her. We got Lenny, and we're waiting for Eric to join us. So, Lenny, you want to say real quick just kind of how long you've been, in the game of real estate?
Oh, wow. Okay. So I got, I was working in the city back in, it's going to show how old I am, but I've been doing this since literally 9/11. I got into real estate right after 2001. And, it's been fun. It's had its ups, it's had its downs and stuff. Learned, made money, lost a lot of money. And, real estate is something that it's just part of me. My father was in real estate and stuff. So, I just love it.
Yeah.
Every aspect of it, actually. Even
right. Yeah. And considering that you've been through, definitely a few cycles, I'm sure this last one's been crazy, So we're excited to hear your perspective and kind of what you guys went through with that. But guys, this is actually, we have over 70 people on this call right now. We're going to be going live here in the next few minutes, right? So stay tuned with me, stay present with me. Please put it in the comment section. I want to make sure that you guys are active. I want to make sure you guys are engaged. I have you guys for an hour and a half, and we are going to be grooving and dancing and learning and just having the time of our lives over this next hour and a half. So please engage with me. Okay, be active, be present. Put it in the comment section. Let me know where you're watching from if you haven't already. All right. We got a lot of people commenting. Appreciate you guys. We got Zachary in the building. What's up, Zach? Saying, yo. Andy is in the house. What's up, Andy, man? Glad to have you, brother. Shakina Green from Brooklyn. I think you're from Brooklyn, right? You're from New York City. Let me not get it wrong, because I know how y'all are with New York. I love y'all. All right. Hey, everyone. Engage from West Orange Edge. Uh-oh. We got the final two boys here. Eric,
what up, man? Yo.
What's up, bro?
What's up, Eric? All right, we got a Facebook user from Belleville.
Oh my God, what's good, bro?
How's it going?
Lenny, what's going on?
Bro? How's it going?
Long time no see.
Yeah.
Elijah, who is this beautiful woman? Where's her?
Oh, you don't know her, bro? You don't know her? Come on.
What's going on over here? This is how you doing?
No, bro. She's your boss, bro. Let's get it straight. She's your boss, man. Come on.
She's the queen. She's the queen. My bad.
All right, hold on. I gotta finish this show. I got my live viewers here. We got Rockland in the house. We got Highland Park, Sierra, Pleasure Sierra. We got Ray from Princeton, New Jersey. Pleasure, Ray. Man, we got a lot of people tuning in, guys. It means so much that you guys are taking time out of your day to be here to learn this strategy. You're going to hear 3 stories today about how these guys all transformed their business, their lives, and their lifestyle through the art of wholesaling, and really what it takes to know the fundamentals of this business. So we're super excited to have these 3 speakers with us. Give us another 60 seconds, all right? And then we're going to get this ball rolling. If you haven't said hello, if you haven't said what's up in the comment section, what's up with you? All right. Put it in the comment section. Show me some love. Show me some energy. All right. Put it down below. What's up, Elijah? Whoever you are. I love you, brother, from Facebook, Assista. We got Natty from Jersey City. Tom's River. That's down south. Jeff, pleasure from tuning in. Monmouth City. And we'll do this last one here. Nate from Morristown, New Jersey. All right. So I know a lot of people are excited for this show today. So I gotta ask everyone on this call: are you guys pumped up for this?
Heck yeah!
Super hyped. Super. There's so many people from so many different places.
A little bit.
Yeah. all over. You know, it really shows the beauty of New Jersey. You know, it's not just North Jersey, it's not just South Jersey, it's not just Central. It's all of it, baby.
Right.
Guys, let's go ahead and get started. I want you guys to get in the right mental frame. I want you to relax. I want you to be here with us. All right. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice exhale. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you guys. This is New Jersey Real Estate Investors Association bringing you another live webinar. Okay. Wholesaling. We're going to be diving in deep today. My name's Elijah Barber. I'm going to be hosting today's event. I have a special guest, my co-host, Sean. Sean, you want to give everyone a quick little intro and say what's up, my man?
What's up, guys? So I'm a wholesaler out of Philadelphia. Elijah, always a pleasure to be on here. Thank you for allowing me to co-host. And I must say, man, your development over the years of just doing this is phenomenal. And it's just amazing to be able to sit here and actually be in your presence and observe you grow, like right before my eyes. But yeah, guys, wholesaler out of Philly, and I'm really excited to learn what is going on in Jersey because that's my future market. But before I can move forward, you know, I definitely want to pick up tips, secrets, and anything that could be of value to me in my business. So I'm locked in, I'm tuned in, and I'm ready. Let's go.
Well, Sean, we're definitely excited to have you co-host with me, by the way. Okay, he's a co-host, guys. He's going to be asking some good questions today. But I got to say, you know, you're trying to enter in Jersey. You got three of the best here with us tonight. You know, they definitely got something to say about that. But there's room for everyone. There's room for everyone. Am I right?
100%.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's okay. You can stay there. Yeah. Stay there.
We might go to Philly.
Today's going to be a great call. Okay. So real quick, let me just.
A lot of my friends want to watch. They keep getting the error on YouTube. Should they go on Facebook?
Yeah, send them to Facebook. Definitely.
Oh,
yep. Send them the Facebook link. I don't really. Yeah. Hopefully, she can help us with that. Want to make sure everyone else is in tune here. So yeah, send them to Facebook. By the way, for those of you guys out here on Facebook or YouTube with us, please hit the like and share button. Okay. This is how we really kind of spread the word and spread this knowledge and definitely help our speakers out as well. So make sure you guys hit that like and share button. So real quick, let me give you guys a little breakdown on how this is going to run. And then I have one quick announcement, and then we're going to get this event started with questions. Okay. So number one, the way this event is going to run is we're getting started now. We will end by 8:30 tonight. Okay. We will be done by 8:30 tonight. So from now until then, we're going to be going into these guys' stories. We're going to be figuring out what strategies they're using in today's market to find deals, to find these discounted deals, right? How they're locking these deals up, how they're selling these deals, and really understanding the science and, you know, the whole philosophy and the strategies of how to be successful in today's market with the strategy of wholesaling. So it's going to be a lot of fun. If you're brand new, you have no idea where to even get started, this is a call that you have to be on. Okay, because we're going to be getting into that. In addition to that, if you're experienced and you're wanting to know how to do 5 deals a month, 10 deals a month, 20 deals a month, these people on this call today have all done that. So you're going to get to hear real live experience about what it takes to make that happen. And it's such an honor for me to be on here with you guys, just to learn from you and to be with you. So thank you for our speakers for being here. But that's how the event's going to go today. Okay. You guys are going to have questions. All my viewers, you guys are going to have questions. Please put the questions in the comment section. All right. Use this comment section as our place to network. Drop your questions at any time that you have them. Put it in the comment section. We'll be able to pin them up just like this. You know, someone's from Dallas. Shimmy's from Dallas. Shout out Shimmy. We'll be able to pin up the question. We'll be able to have all the speakers answer it. Okay, so this is where we network. Use that comment section. That's really it. All right. And then so my final announcement is that for those of you guys who are brand new, we're super excited to have you. I do want to let you guys know that we are primarily a Prime membership based organization, which means that you can come to this first event for free. But in order to come back to our events, you do have to join our membership. The cost for the membership is typically $200. But if you sign up today, we're going to be giving it away for $97. All right. What you get with that is you get all the recordings of all these events. You're going to get literally all of our videos on exactly how we wholesale, on how we buy and hold, on how we do fix and flips. And more importantly, you get access to the community. In addition to that, January 23rd, we are having our first ever virtual Wholesale Summit. Okay. Where you're going to be able to sit at home in your jammies with your peanut butter. And you're going to learn from some of the top people in the wholesale space. And some of our speakers on January 23rd are on this call now. So you're going to get to hear them again, even more in depth. All right. But January 23rd, we're having our first ever virtual wholesale event from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we're going to be covering every single detail with wholesaling. We're going to have some of the top local contractors, attorneys talking about what you need to have in your contracts, exact wordage that you need to put in your contract. Okay, we're going to have some of the people on here that are literally doing so many deals a month. All right. If you have any interest at all in wholesaling or getting deals or networking with people that are in the New Jersey markets, you're going to want to be at that event, the Wholesale Summit on January 23rd. The cost for the tickets they go up to $100 the day of the event. If you choose to join the membership today for $97, we're going to be giving the Wholesale Summit away for free. So if you join the membership, we're going to be giving the summit away for free at no additional cost. For whatever reason, if you just want the summit ticket, it's $30 for the first 5 people that sign up. Okay, so this deal is only available for the first 5 people that sign up. We are putting the link in the description right now. All right, we just dropped the link. The link's in the description. Go to that link right now to sign up for the membership or for the Wholesale Summit. Once again, only the first 5 people get those discounts, so make sure you sign up now. All right. And without any further ado, if you're excited, if you're pumped up to learn this wholesale, we have over 100 people on this call right now. This is probably one of our biggest calls, I got to say. You know, we got some great speakers here. So please make sure you guys hit the like and share button. If you're excited, if you're pumped up for this event, give me a yes with as many Y's and as many E's and as many S's as you can in the comment section. I need to see it. Put it in the comment section. Let me know you're excited. We got some people shouting out Lenny. All right, guys. So let's get into intros and let's dive in. So first and foremost, to start off, we're going to start off with Eric and David from Leverage Companies. I've personally known about these guys for a few years now, and just hearing their story, their upcoming, you know, the challenges that they went through and how they've been able to persevere and really just, you know, climb this mountain of all these challenges and overcome them, and how they're doing so many deals a month. Guys, it's an honor to have you guys. Can you please give our audience a nice warm introduction and just let us know who you are? You know, keep it to a minute, 2 minutes, right?
All right. Yeah, I mean, my name is David Choi. I'm one of the co-owners of Leverage Companies.
I'm Eric, and thank you for having us, brother. You're doing a great job. You've come a long way, like they said. Yeah. It's awesome seeing everybody grow, and it's a pleasure to be here, man.
It really is. I remember like 3-4 years ago, I didn't know anything about real estate. I would come to your events and I'd be like, oh my God, Elijah, you got to teach me, man. How do I run ARV comps? You'd be like, relax. It's not that big of a deal. So honestly, like a lot of what I learned, not even kidding, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 4 years ago was
100%
was with you guys. And I was a Prime member for a long time. So a lot of value you guys provide. So thank you so much for having us.
We appreciate that. Tell us a little bit about Leverage. Give us a little background on Leverage real quick.
Yeah, man. We're a couple things. So we're an acquisition company. We're buying properties. We buy and hold mainly. Our goal this year is to take over Newark. We love Newark. That's our backyard. And we want everybody to know the Leverage name here. We wholesale a bunch of deals. We're wholesaling 10, 15 on a good month deals a month. And we also have a lending company, a hard money lending company that, you know, we finance our investors, and that's been really great for us. And, you know, we have a great team here, and I feel like we've the sky's the limit with what we got so far.
I love it.
Hold on, don't sleep on Brendan.
We got a nice partnership too. Yeah.
We got a partnership with the De Silva team from Keller Williams Montclair. Grew up with the guy, best salesman you'll ever meet. He sold more properties in the city of Newark than any realtor in 2020, and I'm sure he's going to continue to take over Essex County without a doubt.
I love it, man. Yeah, definitely some guys you guys need to get connected with. By the way, at the very end, I'm going to be putting up their contact information. So you guys will be able to reach out to them and, you know, really get in touch and build that relationship with them. So make sure you guys stay on till the end, just so you can have their contact information. By the way, Eric, Lenny, and Ella, send me your contact information in the private chat. Up next, we're gonna have my man Lenny. Lenny Hernandez has literally been nothing but a true glory to the real estate business. I know, Lenny, you have personally helped so many newbies get started, just with the education, with your offices, just being around the industry for such a long time. And one of my favorite things about you, Lenny, is you're always so open and you're so willing to share like exactly what's going on. You're super real about it, and so that's such an honor for me, something I look up to. But Lenny, we're super excited to have you. Lenny from Flipping NJ. Give our audience a nice warm introduction, brother.
So what's up, guys? Thank you for having me. So, as you know, I've been doing this for a while. I was saying before, I've been doing this. I got into real estate back in 2001, right after 9/11. I was working in the city, and that's at that point in my life, I decided I can't work for somebody and end up someday, maybe like a lot of people did, unfortunately. So I said, I have to create something for myself. Always wanted to get into real estate. Got in, didn't know anything about real estate besides just, my dad was a realtor. I bought a Carlton Sheets course. I don't know if anybody even knows what that is. It was basically like an infomercial. And it said you could get involved in real estate without any money. I was like, you know what? That sounds like something I could do. So I literally tried it. I listened to the books, did all that stuff, but nothing was happening until I actually went out there and actually found somebody. I got pretty lucky. Maybe a couple months after leaving New York, I found somebody who had two four families, and the guy wanted $160,000 each for each one. So I just did what the book told me. It said, offer them, see if it's okay if you can lock up the deal and sell him for $200 if he's okay with the difference, keeping the difference. So I asked him, I said, yeah, if I sell these properties, can I keep the difference? If I sell them to my buddies. He said, yeah. And that was literally my way into, buying real estate with no money, made 80 grand. And that was like what I was making in the city. Right. So that ever since then, that changed my life. And, since then, got involved in a lot of things, tax sale foreclosures. I don't know if most people know, really big into the sheriff sale world. Developed a few systems in doing that, wholesaling, and here we are. Buying, selling real estate has opened up a lot of doors. Got involved in technology, all kinds of different things going on. But it all started from literally just wholesaling everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Super excited. You've definitely been known as the sheriff sale guy. So I know there's a lot of people on this call right now that have questions over all that. So guys, make sure you guys have your questions ready. Make sure you are putting them in the comment section so we can pin them up for you. So Lenny, thank you so much for that intro. And last but not least, we have the queen of the building. All right. We have Ella Londono from Zeres Capital. Such a beauty. Okay. She has literally been in the flip space. She's been in the wholesaling space for quite some time. Everyone in Central Jersey knows about her. Ella, it's such an honor to have you here with us. Please give our audience a warm introduction.
Well, before anything, Elijah, thank you so much for having us and for your energy. It's always amazing. But yeah, so my name's Ella. For you guys that don't know me, I am wholesaling right now. So I own Zeres Capital. We're really an acquisitions, buy and hold real estate company. We were based out of Central Jersey, but we're actually all throughout Jersey now. And yeah, so I mean, I bought my first property 2016. We were just talking to Lenny about that. Bought my first property 2016, had literally no idea what I was doing. I was flipping the property. I then realized that I bought it from a wholesaler, that bought it from a sheriff's sale that I put up the money for. So I learned that later on in life. Wonder if that was Lenny, by the way, but I don't think so. But along the process, I really just learned so much. I mean, I literally jumped in. I had no education whatsoever. Bought my first property sheriff sale wise 2016 when I was in college, and that literally dug me into the real estate business. I learned about contractors, learned about like evictions. I had to do an eviction in that process. I learned about oil tanks. I learned about sheriff sales, and it drove me to Lenny. And then I ended up working with Lenny for a while. And then I got my license, was working with Louis Leva, Culture Estate, for anybody that knows them. And then I started my own thing. So I started my own thing back, almost 2-3 years ago. And it's been amazing, right? So right now we're wholesaling here in New Jersey, fixing, flipping here in Jersey, and also in North Carolina. So we do roughly about 8 to 10 deals a month in between both states, whether it's flipping, wholesaling, rentals, whatever it is, we're just trying to get it done. And our goal right now is to get into commercial, right? To really just buy apartment buildings. So that's our biggest goal right now as a company. But I'm here to serve as well. So for anybody in the call that is looking to get into the business, that's looking to do whatever, I am really here to help. So whether you're wholesaling, whether you have capital to invest, whether you are trying to determine the ARV, I think I heard that earlier, they're trying to determine ARV, I can help you out, whether it's myself or somebody in my team. And yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you so much for that intro, Ella. We're excited to dive in with you. All right, Sean, let's get started.
All right, let's get started. So guys, I know that last year was really rough for everybody completely when COVID hit, and we're gonna get around to asking each one of you because we want to hear your perspective. I guess we'll start with Ella. You just end it. But when COVID hit, what was business like for you? How did you adjust? What did you do the moment everything went on lockdown?
That's actually a good question. So COVID hit, what is it? I think I was actually in Puerto Rico when the announcement came. I think it was like March 16th officially, or March 9th or something like that. I didn't know the day that I left to Puerto Rico. I had no idea that was going to be the last day that I was going to be in my New Brunswick office. So I had an office in New Brunswick. The building got shut down. I couldn't really go back there until I think like 3 months later, until I decided to really just close down the actual office. So I had a nice little office space. I had about 7 to 8 people in the office space. It was pretty decent. But because of COVID, we ended up going fully virtual. So literally everybody's working in an office to working from home. But what was really cool about the experience is that we learned that not only can we do business virtually, but we can do it more efficiently. Mm-hmm. So I already have a lot of my team out in the Philippines. We have most of our team is actually VAs. But not only the way that our business structure is that we have everybody that's basically cold calling lead generation out in the Philippines, and everybody that was sales was here in the United States, here in Jersey. That really kind of took a shift, and a lot of people, we started recruiting out of the Philippines for sales. So right now my business structure is literally completely virtual. We have everybody out in the Philippines, even sales and acquisitions, dispositions. We only have right now 3 people here in the States, here in New Jersey, which is my sister, she does operations, and then my brother, who does our project management. Everybody else, we're doing literally 8 to 10 deals a month, completely virtual. And we shut down the office. So it was a huge shift. It was definitely a huge shift, but we were able to adapt. And on top of it, not only did we, move over to the virtual space, but I'm sure a lot of you guys had issues with title companies, with permits, with building departments. We had the same issue, right? And we were literally in the epicenter of COVID. So that's when we decided to start marketing out in, North Carolina, right? So, we were able to do this virtually here in the States, in New Jersey. Why couldn't we just go ahead and go into other markets? So now we're fully virtual in 2 states. We're doing business in 2 states. I love North Carolina. I love New Jersey. Both states are just amazing to us. They're completely different markets. But it's been an amazing experience. Unfortunately, obviously, COVID is here, and I think that it's probably going to be here to stay for a while. But you just, as a business owner, you have to adapt and you have to shift and you have to figure out what's best, not only for the business, but for everybody that's involved in the business, right? So it was a huge shift. It's still shifting every single day. We're probably going to be doing a couple more changes as things progress. But yeah, I mean, COVID was good and bad at the same time, right? Because it makes you think as a business owner. You have, XYZ people under you. You got to make a decision to figure out what to do.
Wow, your adaptation
awesome.
to COVID is amazing.
Really awesome.
Yeah, and I think you adapted from the sound of it really well and saved you a lot of money. Having in-person sales, this shifting over to virtual. And then not only that, you have to teach them too, right?
Oh yeah, teach. Yeah, and actually that's one of the biggest things too that I learned over the process. And that's, for anybody that's in this call, you don't have to have a massive operation, right? You don't have to do that. I wanted to take on that journey. But when we're talking about managing over 20 people virtually, you have to have your process in place. You have to have training in place. You have to have recruiting in place. You have to have all of those things in place, right? So it definitely put me in a perspective that I have to figure out what tools, what systems, what videos, what trainings do I have to do to be able to provide those tools and systems to my people as well. And it's COVID definitely teaches you to adapt. It taught us to adapt. But I think that we are doing things a little bit different than most people. And yes, there's going to be a loss of opportunity, but at the same time, it's just a different nugget that we're going after. So it's been good.
You know what? I have so many questions, but because of time, I want to give the other speakers, to answer that question.
You should just be about her. I got so many questions.
Right.
Honestly.
Well, David, since you got questions, I'm gonna let you sit on your question. We're gonna go to Lenny. Lenny, talk to me about when COVID hit. What was your thought process? How did you make adjustments during that time frame?
The only thing I'm really grateful for when that happened was 15 months prior to COVID, we had already gotten out of the sheriff sales. It had gotten really competitive. It wasn't even worth it anymore. So we started going the VA route, and we had already adapted. That took a while. Ella, I don't even know how long that took for you to do that, but we went through a lot of heartaches. Who we're going to use, who we're not going to use, what country of VAs are better. We also use Filipinos. It's hardworking and stuff. So when COVID happened, we were already working virtually. And what was odd of what happened during that time is we were locking up deals, and for the first time ever, when COVID happened, the sellers were literally canceling the deals with us. They didn't want to sell their properties anymore. And meanwhile, I was a little afraid about that because I hadn't thought about that part. I had always said, all right, well, right now we could buy, we can, hold on to, we could do all kinds of stuff like that. But I wasn't counting on sellers not selling the properties, and it made sense. So once we got past that, things started moving. That's the only time I was really scared, because I said, oh, if nobody's going to sell, then what's going to happen? We got the buyers, but what are we going to do? So we adapted to that. We also have a nice virtual team right now, and it's just been it's been something that, like Ella said, if you don't adapt to something like this, you're finished, right? So your adaptability has to be, on point. And we had to adapt to a lot of things. But I'm really glad that it didn't catch me off guard, and I was just doing auctions, because that would have been game over at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's great. I love to hear that. So, by the way, guys, we're going to get into kind of how they're sourcing deals and a lot of stuff today, but it's so important for you guys to understand what's been going on over the past 10 months and what changes these guys had to make so they could be where they're at today. Okay, so here we go. Let's go down to David and Eric. Talk to me about when COVID hit at that moment, because I know you guys were pumping deals every single month. Talk to me about when COVID hit, what adjustments you guys made. Let's go into that a little bit.
So when COVID hit, we had a lot of employees in our office. I think we had like 15 to 20 people. And then we had like probably 10 overseas in the Philippines. Seems like everyone uses the Philippines. It's one of their primary languages. It's very it's very cheap labor, and they work hard. So it helps you scale up when you're trying to build out like a lead operation. So the issues that we kind of faced was it was all relationship driven for us in the beginning, right? We would get deals. I'd make a phone call. I'm at the gym, and it's gone within 2 seconds, right? Mm-hmm. And because of that, we really didn't have like a streamlined disposition process. And all of our investors were mostly from Brooklyn, right? They're using hard money. They're levering up. Almost everyone in our sub markets are using hard money. So when the secondary market tightened up, and I mean, Eric will probably speak more on this, but when the secondary started doing margin calls and stopped buying loans from hard money lenders and non-QM loans, there was no liquidity in the marketplace to get deals done. So we had to adapt. We had to build out a dispo process, and now honestly, it's better than it's ever been before, and we're able to sling really crappy deals. So it's been really helpful, increasing our profit margin per deal, just being able to have a bigger appetite as far as our underwriting goes on acquisition. So it's been really helpful on that end. The other thing that we used to do wrong pre-COVID was we'd go on in-person appointments all the time. We'd go there, we'd lock the deal up. And I think from a closing percentage, it definitely helps, right? If you go in person, your batting average is going to be much higher, but the time that it takes, the 2-hour trip, you could be making offers on 5 more properties. So we transitioned from in-person to virtual offers, and it's really it's made a big impact on our bottom line.
Yeah, and just the two things that I thought of while I was speaking on that. One thing we encountered that it doesn't sound like Ella and Lenny, you guys probably hit as much as tenants, right? So almost all the properties here are multifamily. So tenants stopped paying. I mean, the government basically said, tenants don't have to pay. And a lot of them in this market, took them up on that offer. And that made a lot of buyers extremely, extremely scared. You have tenants not paying, you can't evict. You buy a property, what are you going to do? You can't renovate. You're not making money. You're not making cash flow. And that's our market, right? So it actually got really hard to sell deals. And some of the deals that we sold in COVID, it's like, wow, we could have made, if we had that deal now, we could have made so much money, or we would have probably bought it, right? But we were just scared. The other thing that it did for us, honestly, is we didn't fire any of our employees. We kept everybody. We did the PPP thing, and that did for us exactly what I think it was supposed to do. But it was definitely hard. Like we were revising our SOPs, standard operating procedures. It's like a dirty word now in the company, but that's what we did. We're like, all right, we're going to get our system streamlined. It's going to be great. And we just tried to keep everybody busy, but at the same time we were building the business. But it was hard for, 2-3 months when you're just, you're doing these video calls and you're trying to keep everybody motivated, but at the same time you're barely making money. You're like, man, I don't want to get out of bed, but at the same time, there's all these people that are relying on it. So, we were 1 year in business at the time. I think it made us grow up astronomically. Grateful for it. Made us better in every sense of the word. And I feel like, now we're at a spot where, give us another one, we'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
But really don't.
I really don't.
Yeah, you'll be much more prepared. Like, it sounds like all you guys really had to you were forced to clean up your process. And I feel like whoever has the cleanest process is going to, dominate the market. And if you're brand new and, you're sitting here, you're hearing all this stuff that these guys went through. I just want to remind you that, they've been in the business for a while, and, we're going to be getting into steps to starting off and all that stuff. So don't get too overloaded, but understand that this business does require discipline. It does require, your ability to think in the moment and to really solve problems and be of value and service. So as you can hear in the stories, that's exactly what these three people did. And we're going to get to hear kind of now how they evolved and what they're doing right now. So let's go ahead and transition into that. I know a lot of people are wondering, especially in today's market, how are you guys finding deals? We're going to get into selling and analyzing and all that in a minute, but I just want to get into lead generation a little bit. What are you guys doing right now to find deals in today's extremely hot markets? Let's go and start with Lenny for this one.
So we get our leads from, public places, as like, for example, sheriff sales, right? We have that information, pre-foreclosures, list pendants. There's a lot of data out there that's free. Then we also buy, we aggregate our own leads too. We created some bots and stuff. We sign up for list stores. We get information from there. And what we've done and how we've actually made it work for us is we take all that information. We created a software that we kind of like, people could refer to it as stacking. But we've been doing stacking before it was actually, a term, right? And once we narrow down our targets, that's who we go after. And so that's basically how we, do our leads right now. We narrow down people with different circumstances, different issues and stuff, water liens, sewer liens, all kinds of federal liens, things like that. And we, it's a numbers game. Put a lot of phone calls out. This isn't something that it just happens overnight. right? There's a lot of calls to get a yes, and that's what we do every day.
So, yeah, so let's get into that a little bit. So, like, me as someone who's new, like, I'm sitting here, I'm listening to this idea of list building or motivation stacking. What, like, could you give me an example of that? Like, where you would go to kind of build this list, and what's a factor or two that you might look for? And then in addition to that, you talk about cold calling. So I'll get to that cold calling in a minute. What's this list stacking? Yeah.
Okay, so list stacking is basically taking. Here, I'll simplify it. So I'm sure everybody's heard of PropStream. It's I think it's a great tool. We use it a lot differently than I guess most people use it, but we don't use it for just going on there and running a standard search on pre-foreclosure homes or anything like that. We separate every single event. It could be federal liens, tax liens, municipal liens, and stuff like that. We separate all those different liens, right? Plus other stuff, bankruptcy, pre-foreclosure, all that stuff. We take all those addresses and everything. We run them through our system. Once we run them through our system, it'll tell us this address right here is on these 3 lists. So the more we call them circumstances that happen, those are more motivated people. So when we first started doing this, we were just doing a shotgun approach, calling up everybody, and it gets very expensive, right? You're calling up, you need a lot more people, you need a lot, it's just very expensive and very time consuming. When we started actually narrowing down our targets, things changed. It wasn't that many phone calls. We could turn these things into a deal or a potential deal in the future, and that's what we do. That's if you want to buy the leads, but there's a lot of leads out there you can actually get. If you call up any municipality, you do an Oprah request on whatever sewer liens or water shut off or whatever, you can get that kind of stuff too. And that's how we kind of narrow down what it is. This is what keeps us busy every day.
Yeah, no, that's beautifully put. So I like that. That's simple. All right, let's go to Ella. Ella, talk to me about lead generation today.
Honestly, I probably would be copying everything Lenny said. So it's nothing crazy. We really just grab the data. Anybody that's in distress, whether it's pre-foreclosure, tax liens, sewer liens, code violations, any other type of liens. We also do absentee. We do blanket lists as well. We have literally over 10 cold callers in the Philippines, so we give them as much data as possible. I think that what Lenny's saying about data stacking is an amazing opportunity as well. But honestly, on our end, we literally just want to feed as many leads as possible, and we want to try to get as much juice out of every single list that we have. And we're just cold calling. We're cold calling. We were doing texting. We were doing texting before, but it wasn't working out for us as much as we wanted it to. But all we're doing right now is cold calling and just hitting as many phone numbers as possible, just hitting the phones.
And you have the VAs, they're the ones in the cold callers, right? Out in the Philippines?
Correct. Yes. I mean, technically right now, everybody's literally everything is fully delegated to the Philippines. So basically what I'm doing is just overseeing everything and just making sure that obviously the numbers make sense and that everything's getting done, and I'm pushing the numbers. But for lead generation, it's honestly really simple. I used to overcomplicate it before, but all you need to do is find somebody that's in distress, somebody that's there's some type of financial or physical distress, and talk to as many people as possible that are in that situation. You're gonna get deals. I used to overthink it, but honestly, it's not.
Yeah, that's simple.
I'm hearing you guys mention lists a lot, right? So for somebody new listening in, is there a list that somebody should focus more on that may be easier for somebody new? Like the list, kind of stick to one list until.
Hold on, David. I'm gonna come to you next.
I have data.
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Honestly, I would say if I had to choose one, I would say tax liens. Tax liens have given us the biggest return, but they can get really tricky for somebody that's new. So if you're starting off, maybe, going into, maybe code violations just to kind of get your feet warm. And then, once you really understand the business, you can make a lot of money with tax liens. We made way too much money in tax liens. I don't even know how it's possible, but it's super possible. Tax liens, it's tricky if you understand the transactions process, the title process. You can negotiate and you can figure out, and create a process behind that. You can really make a lot of money. But if you're starting off, I would probably do something a little bit more simple, like code violations or sewer liens or anything like that. Tax liens, you can make a lot of money, but they're complex. I don't know if you guys have, and I don't know if you guys would say different or.
I agree, Ella. I agree 100%. And I know what you mean about being complicated, because once they hit like order setting time or the 2-year mark and all that stuff, then it's a whole nother process, right? You got to get permission to buy the property and all that stuff. Yeah. So yeah, tax liens are great, but definitely would be confusing if you hit that stuff.
Gotcha. Thanks.
So all right, let's go down to David and Eric talking about lead generation, and then hit us with your data.
Let me answer that question because it's a really good question.
All right. Yeah.
So we track efficiency rates on number of calls to the return that we get on that particular data set. So we found that trigger data like tax liens, list pendants, et cetera, have 4.5 to 5 times more of a result on a motivated person, right? We also stack our data, but it could get really complicated if you don't have the right engineers and like software guys to clean it all up, make sure. So I wouldn't go too crazy if you're a beginner. But what I found, because I was doing short sales at the beginning and I was only doing list pendants, and these transactions, if you're starting off, could take months. And if you got to make $1, don't go after these complicated transactions off the rip. If you're going to go after trigger data and stacking or whatever motivated list, go after tax liens. That's my biggest deal was tax liens. So tax liens, list pendants, and make sure that they have equity in their home. They show signs of distress, but you don't have to work with the bank. You don't have to work with the tax lien holder. You don't have to go through all the nonsense of getting it done.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I forgot to mention that. So we do stack our list pendants and our tax liens to make sure they have equity. So that's the only reason why we stack, just to make, because I mean, when I started in the business, I used to door knock. So I was door knocking. And I was door knocking on properties that literally they owed $900,000 and the property was worth like $150,000. So that was super inefficient. I later learned on like how to figure out equity. And then that's when I started really making the money, when I could really target what type of properties I need to go after, right? So equity is huge, especially in Jersey. Jersey is, for some reason, literally everybody owes more than what they should owe. And that's why we have the most short sales in the country. But I think equity, that was a really, I forgot. I mean, that's literally like when I started making money, when I realized that. So equity is huge. In New Jersey, it's like equity is huge. That right there, that nugget is probably going to save a lot of people's lives.
Plus, you don't want to do the short sale game. The short sale game is crazy.
You get a little trouble sometimes.
Yeah,
stay out of it.
So, David and Eric, I have to keep things rolling here. Anything else you guys want to talk about with lead generation? Yeah. So I hear you guys are after tax liens. You guys are after the list pendants with equity. Any other types of lead generations that you guys are doing right now? And you guys doing cold calls as well with like Lenny and Ella? How are you guys like reaching out to these leads?
We do a very similar approach to Ella. We just take a huge data set, and we aggregate the data. We skip trace it, find out as many points of distress that we can, whether it's deteriorating credit score or lien or bankruptcy or divorce or whatever have you. They could be old, have equity, whatever it is. So you stack these, and over the course of the past like year or two, we developed like a self-learning algorithm. So we just skip trace it, clean up all the data through code, dump it into Salesforce, and it spits out the best of the best, right? But and through that, we create our all different types of marketing strategies. But nonetheless, we get all of the numbers and we just dump it in. And our team in the Philippines, I think we have 12 people right now, hiring 15 in like the next 2 weeks. So it's going to be a little crazy. But we do the same approach. We pump leads in, we pull them out, and we pump lead data in, pull leads out, and our closers will either negotiate a deal, and if not, if there's a lot of like trigger points where they're not really going to ever sell for a discount, we set the appointment up for our partners on the listing side, and it's been really profitable on both ends for us.
Man, they just hit on a lot of. Go ahead, Eric.
One quick thing to add. Another thing that we did that like drastically improved our business is we automated the follow-up. So these guys don't even have to think about when to call. It builds the call list for them. And then also we have text message campaigns built into our CRM that
so important
that follow up. And I mean, these guys will tell you like, you're not going to get a deal on the first day. You're going to have to call somebody 35 times, make a friend and follow up. And like, that's how you get all of your deals. So, I mean, that's like a little thing that we did that just had a huge return.
Yeah, that it's your dramatic returns. And the other, we did the same thing. You could do the same thing, right? You get all your lead statuses like contact attempted, new leads, appointment set, appointment did not happen, dead, nurture, right? So you get all of those lead statuses and you build nurture campaigns around them to hit at a certain frequency. But what we were doing wrong prior was our closers were calling like one by one. And it doesn't make any sense. What you need to do is build that exact same criteria and make sure those leads are being targeted at the right times through like a HCI auto dialer, right? And it's all flowing perfectly from the point of data to the point of closed transaction. You should be ripping like monsters all the way throughout the process.
I love it. Guys, we hit on a lot of really great topics when it comes to lead generation. I am on a tight time frame here, so whatever questions you guys have over lead generation, please put them in the comment section. I'll pull those up at the end so we can get those answered for you, okay? So I want to transition here. So you guys generated the lead. I want to talk a little bit about the conversion process, and then if both of you guys could kind of answer, you guys using title companies, you guys using attorneys to put these things under contract. How are you guys actually going under contract? So talk to me a little bit about the conversion process with with the cold callers or with the in-person meeting or however you're doing it. Talk to me a little bit about that process, and then let me know, are you guys using title companies, attorneys? How are you guys getting this transaction moving along? We'll start off with Ella for this one.
Was there. So conversion, when you say conversion, you're talking about like a KPI for calls or what do you mean?
So the lead just came in and now we got to figure out if they want to sell or not and if it's a good deal, to go under contract with the wholesale.
Cool. So we have a I don't want to overcomplicate it, but basically what happens is that we have our cold caller. Our cold caller is calling. They have pre-qualifiers, and based on those pre-qualifiers, we say that there's a pretty solid opportunity with this one. So it gets live transferred over to our acquisitions team, and our acquisitions team then goes through a little bit more deeper conversation. Based off that conversation, we see if that person qualifies for an offer or not. If they do qualify for an offer, our acquisition then underwrites the deal. So they look for the typical ARV, determine the rehab amount based on the conversation, and then make an offer through the phone. We'll ask them, what the asking price is, and if it makes sense, then we'll make it happen. If it doesn't, then we'll have to obviously negotiate. And if it works out, we get the deal locked up right over the phone. If we can't get it locked up over the phone, we want to make sure that at least we agree on a price point, and then we'll send somebody that's here in the States to go out to the property and get the deal signed. After that, we determine whether that's going to be an in-house deal, whether we're going to be keeping it as a rental, whether we're going to be wholesaling it, or we're going to be keeping it or we're going to be flipping it. So typically, and just to go into some numbers, for our cold callers, we need about 50 cold call leads to close a deal. And typically, we're closing roughly about 80% of the deals that we get under contract. So we are using a title company. We're using Fortune Title. I don't even know where they're based out of. I think everybody uses Fortune Title though. You know where they're based out of? If you use Fortune Title? No, I think they're down south, somewhere in South Jersey. We're using Fortune Title, and we're not using attorneys for closings in New Jersey. In North Carolina, we have to use attorneys. It's an attorney state. Did I cover everything? I know that we don't have that much time.
No, you're good. Fortune Title is in Roseland, by the way.
Roseland, yes, that's it. Roseland, and that's in South Jersey. So we're not using attorneys. We might use attorneys if the seller really wants either us to use an attorney or them to use an attorney. But typically, we're really just doing everything straight with the title company. And then we also do have a transaction coordinator. She's also out in the Philippines, and she's the one that's managing the transactions, just making sure that we're getting payoffs. That's making sure that we're getting whatever it is with the property permits, opening Oprah records. Just I don't want to go too much into it. I think that they might get a little confused, but yeah. So that's basically the overall process of a deal from the beginning to end.
So for you guys have these cold callers at the VAs. They're calling the list that you guys have put together, and through this call, you're just really doing a qualification and building a connection, and you're trying to figure out, question. Do you ask for their asking price? Like, do you expect them to give one first? Like, or do you guys give your offer first? Just curious.
We'll ask 3 times before we give an offer. So we count those times. The cold caller is going to ask it, and then the acquisition has to ask twice before we give an offer. Because sometimes their offer makes sense, and if we can give them their offer without us having to, go super into detail, because it takes time to come up with an offer. You guys know, right? Mm-hmm. So if we can save that time and we can make the deal work, we're gonna make the deal work.
Gonna do it. And then so it sounds like you're doing all this over the phone, and you have people out in out in the Philippines that are doing this. So like me as a new person, I'm just trying to process this. It's like, do you recommend people lock it up over the phone? If they're just getting started, like, is that an easy process to do? Because I know you also have to figure out. Yeah, go ahead.
I would say yes, just because it's probably going to increase your odds of getting your deal faster. Just to go to one appointment, you can literally waste, an hour to get there, be at the appointment. Sellers love to talk, especially for some reason, the really good sellers, they really, really like to talk. So you're going to be at that appointment for, let's say, an hour and a half. If you're new, you're probably going to stay there for 3 hours because you're not going to want to cut them off. And then, the drive back. So for one appointment, that's going to be about, let's just say, a whole day, right? So you don't want to waste the whole day when you could have been on the phone speaking to more people, cold calling, closing more deals, giving out offers. So my suggestion is to do it over the phone. And yes, a lot of people don't like that idea because they say that, you're losing that personal touch. But I'll be honest with you, we're doing more deals now over the phone than when we were going on appointments. So yes, we're losing out on opportunity, but if that opportunity is super hard to get, we're not going to want to get it right at this moment. Eventually, maybe, but we're looking to just increase our odds. And if we can lock things up over the phone, we're going to do it.
I have so many questions. Can I just ask one question? One question.
Come on, David. David.
Okay.
No, David, you're taking too long, bro. You're taking too long. No, I'm going to Lenny. Come on, David. Come on, David.
Do you qualify? The same person that qualifies makes the offer as well?
No. So, we have our cold caller, right? They're qualifying the lead, right? So they're going to be asking, their mortgage amount, because if it's too high, we're going to be pushing it out to the realtor because that's typically going to be a short sale. And we don't actually have to go through that process anymore because now we're stacking it, but they're going to ask that just in case. We don't want to waste our time with leads like that because it's just like that in Jersey. They're going to be asking when do they want to sell, and it has to be within a 3-month time frame. Anything beyond 3 months, it's going to stay in our cold caller space. We're going to be asking them the condition of the property. If the property is in pristine condition, obviously we don't want to push that over to our acquisitions, which are our closers. We want to make sure that the property actually needs repairs. And if they really want an offer and the property is, let's say, in good condition, we want to make sure that their asking price is below the Zestimate. Yes, we use Zillow. A lot of people don't like to use Zillow, but I use it. I mean, it's proven to us that it works. And I'm really just trying to eliminate as much research that my team has to do. So we're going to use Zillow. It might work for most. It might not work for a couple of deals, but it works for most deals. So we're just working with our odds. But our cold callers are qualifying, and then our acquisitions are digging deeper and giving out the offers and getting those deals under contract.
Wow, that's really cool.
let's transition now here to David and Eric. Eric, you guys talk to me about your the acquisition process. So you guys generated the lead. I know you guys have a whole team that's in house that's locking these bad boys up. So talk to me about that process.
Yeah, so we're not nearly as virtual as Ella, which for better or for worse, I'm not sure. But yeah, so basically we want a lot of leads. We have a partnership with with Brendan De Silva in Newark. We basically want anybody who wants to sell their house, because if it's not a deal for us, we're setting an appointment for his team, and he's got his own team of callers, and they're nurturing the leads. So any lead for us is kind of a good lead. And from there, we have tier 2 agents who are setting appointments for our acquisition guys. So we have, and then also we have one guy in house that we'll send basically on, people that won't sign over the phone. And you do get those here and there. We have one guy that's just, his name's Sam. He's just a savage. He gets it signed on the spot.
He's the most charming man in the world.
There's nobody like him. Nobody like him.
I love him.
There's nobody like him. He comes from like the
Nigeria.
Well, that's not what I was going to go with that, but I was going to say he comes from the solar space. He's an in-person appointment. He got Nigeria. He's also Nigerian.
He's the best Nigerian in the world. He's the best.
If that matters to you. So that's how we do it. We definitely have an in-house team. We have an underwriter too in-house that looks at deals. He's mainly looking to see. Well, he's double checking our acquisition guys' numbers before we lock it up, but also he's looking to see, is this a property that we should consider purchasing? Is this something that we're going to flip out? So every deal gets underwritten at some point for us.
So at the moment, you guys have one guy who's kind of like just deciding, like, we're keeping this, we're going to fix and flip this, or we're going to wholesale this, or give it to Brendan.
Yep.
So it goes from like lead, and the point of lead to getting it to the right person needs to be really smooth, right? So it's either an appointment. We used to just dump it in and call them whenever we can. Can't do that. So we found that live transfers and hot handoffs or scheduled callbacks are always way more effective with reminders to the seller. That lead then goes to the acquisition manager, and the acquisition manager, we can't use Zillow in our submarkets because we ran it, we tested it. There's just too much of a price difference in areas that are appreciating too quickly, and areas that, for single family, it's just so many variables.
Works better for single fam. If you're in a market that has single family, you could probably use Zillow.
It works. Yeah. So anyway, then if the AM believes that, again, the indicators that you said, 3-month time frame, like the condition, their motivations, mortgage balance, if they think it's an offer, they send it to underwriting. We come back with approved number to make, whether it's from a wholesale purchase or subject to. He's gonna figure that out. And then if the AM the acquisition manager decides it just does not work at all, he sets the listing appointment. Boom. And that's kind of our process.
I love it. All right, look.
One thing I just want to add here is I know some of these people are newer, and you don't need all of these people. You can definitely do all of this yourself, and really all you need is to be able to pick up the phone and meet people like people here, and be able to make a phone call. Hey, what do you think of this deal? Like, is this a deal? Like, what should I be looking at? I mean, you don't need to know anything. You just need to know people that know something. So I think if you're getting started, probably the best thing you can do is start talking to some of these people here. Take action. If they see you're out there hustling and working hard, people will definitely help you out.
Yeah, we'll help you. Hit me up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's such a good point. So, by the way, I'm going to be giving their contact information at the end, so make sure you guys stay on till then. This way you guys can have their contact information and you can start to build that relationship with them. So let's transition here to Lenny, and then I got a few more questions for you guys before we open up to the Q&A. By the way, I see your guys' questions. Keep them coming, okay? We're going to get all those answered here during the last 15, 20 minutes. So, Lenny, talk to me about your acquisition process. How are you guys locking up the deals? Walk me through that.
It's basically the same thing. Our cold callers are basically, reaching out to all the people that, that are our target prospects. They don't do any of the selling or anything like that. They transfer it over here. Over here, acquisitions, this talks to the people, sees if it's a real lead or not, you know, asks them the qualifying questions, kinds of goes through all the scenarios and stuff like that. And the only thing different that I'm doing is we only have 4 cold callers, right? 4 cold. Yeah. We have 8 VAs, but 4 of them are cold callers. The only thing different that I'm doing is I do go on the appointments because the people that I sell to the same people all the time. It's the same people I've been dealing with for years. So I already know what they like. So I go there, and the likelihood of closing, because of everything that we did prior to me going there, is very, you know, I have a pretty good closing rate of locking up the deal. But when I go over there, I already know what my buyers are gonna look for and stuff. So I have to go see it. I take pictures. I know what they're gonna be interested in, and then and that's basically what we do. You know, we all of our businesses are very, very similar, right?
Yep.
Transfers and stuff. You know, our business started getting better when we stopped having the VAs doing everything, asking all the questions and stuff like that. Because the problem is, especially in New Jersey, a lot of rude people in Jersey, and it's a lot different. You know, they're not used to that. They're not used to sarcasm. They're not used to any of that. So we were getting a lot of hang-ups, all that stuff. You know, people have no patience here in Jersey, right? So, so once they get them on, transfer them over, you know, to somebody here in Jersey, you know, we could talk Jersey, right? And then that's when I go. I'm always gonna love going to these appointments because it's not like, you know, we're doing 4 to 6 deals a month, right? Now, you know, we're running 2 separate businesses. We're trying to build this, and we're doing this too. You know, this kind of like pays for, you know, the bills or whatever. I'm always gonna love going to these appointments because, you know, I just like it. I'm always gonna like it. I've always have.
No, that's great. All right, guys, I let me transition here real quick because I know everyone's wondering. So we got you guys generated the lead. You know, you guys have your acquisitions people in place, or, you know, if you're brand new, you know, you're on the phones, you're talking to the sellers. How do you guys kind of value what you're going to offer or what price you're willing to accept to go under contract for the purpose of wholesaling? So what's the criteria that you look for when you're analyzing a deal to know that this is a deal that you're going to be able to sell? Talk to me about that process. I know everyone wants to know. Let's start with David and Eric.
So I'll just say one thing real quick. Like the quickest and easiest way is to take, you know, use the 70% of ARV rule. So you take
what is that? What is that?
You take what it could sell for once it's all fixed and perfect. You multiply that by 0.7 or 0.75, depending, you know, how aggressive you want to be. And then you subtract out the rehab cost, and then you got to subtract out the fee you want to make. So if you want to make 10 grand, you're going to subtract out 10 grand, and that's the maximum allowable offer you can make. However, I'm just going to caveat that, again, I think it's market. It's very contingent on market. For a fix and flip market, you know, you really have to be 70, 75 cents on the dollar. We're in a cash flow market. These buyers will pay 80, 85 cents on the dollar if it's got good tenants and they're paying, and they can make their cash flow numbers. So it is market based. But if you're just getting started, learn your market, figure out who your buyers are, ask them what they look for in deals. That'll give you a better idea. Rather than just using, you know, 70 cents on the dollar, you're probably leaving money on the table.
So it's like this. It's ARV after repair value, and that's 70% multiplied by 70%. And then you just subtract your rehab, and then you get your MAO, which is your maximum allowable offer.
So based on that, how do you know how much money you're making based on that?
Well, like Eric said, it's all market by market, right? On a single family fix and flip, you're probably going to need, they're going to want enough equity in the deal, like a real equity in the deal, because it's a sale, right? And so they're really calculating their net proceeds after all of it, after your commissions, your holding costs, the mortgage payoff. So they're really calculating real equity. Whereas, truthfully, buy and hold investors that care about cash flow, they're able to kind of push and pull a little bit on the appraisal. and get the value that they kind of need in order to float out and take their capital out of the deal and still cash flow. So again, it's really market by market, but multifamily, I think 3 units and up, you get a little bit more, you could be a little bit more expensive, like 75, 80 cents for us.
For a little bit more, right?
Yeah. And then anything single family, we got to get it below like 75 to 65% around there.
So just to be clear, what David and Eric are doing, they're figuring out what these properties are worth fully renovated. Once they have that number, they know that their buyers, if it's a fix and flip, they're going to buy anywhere from 70 to 75% of what that fully renovated property is selling for. And then you also have to subtract the rehab, and then that's the number that you would offer, as David explained in the example. And so I just want to make that very clear for everyone. Let's go to Lenny. Lenny, are you valuing yours any differently? Or
Well, here, so yeah, we basically do the same thing, but we did one thing different. So I'm a tech, I like tech and stuff. So we created our own calculator. I don't know if you can see that. Right, hold on.
What's the app? What's the link? Come on.
I just sent it to you, right? So we created that. So the only reason why I had that created was because we were going to these appointments. I was going to these appointments, and I had to go over, just the way everything was going to go. Oh yeah, your house is worth this, blah blah. So what I did was I created this in the same way that we would do the presentation, right? So that I could manipulate it a little bit, right? Construction is going to be a little bit more, whatever. But at the end, I just go and I just say, here, this is the maximum allowable offer. This is what I can pay. I don't know if you guys can see that, right?
You show it to them, Lenny?
It's so, what's that?
You show it to them? You go like this?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I show it to them. Yeah, 100%. I show them the number. Because what it is I'm going over everything with them. I'm saying, okay, holding cost is going to be, so I did sliders and everything like that. I had to make this look really simple so that anybody could understand, right? And what I do is I'll send it over. So the one that I sent you, it says flip starters on it, but it's the same thing.
Wait, where in the world did you send that? Because I don't have it.
I just sent it to, what's your cell?
You want me to get it to you right now? Or online?
Okay, hold on.
Lenny, that's great. I can see you saying, look, this is all I can pay. It's not my fault. It's on my budget.
I'm going through everything with them. I'm telling them, I'm not trying to lowball them. I'm not telling them that their property is not worth anything. I'm going through everything. But I already know when I go there what I'm looking to pay for the property. Right? So basically, by the time I'm done with everything, all my sliders and all that stuff, right? Over here, that I press, calculate, and then boom, there it is. Then I tell them, you're not. Then I tell them, well, I didn't put any numbers in here. Basically, this is it, and it breaks down. Okay, cost of repairs, acquisition expenses, holding expenses, real estate commission, closing costs, overage, advertising, and then that's my number. That has worked
Pretty cool.
for me.
Love that.
So well.
Wait, so Lenny, how in the world can we and people that are watching get this app? Because I got to try it out.
I thought I just sent it to you. Hold
bro,
on.
send it in the private chat, bro. Send it in the private chat so I can send it to everyone.
How do I do that? I don't know. So how do? Oh, because it's on my phone. It's on my phone.
Okay, so, Lenny, I just texted you my number on the private chat. Text me and I'll send it to everyone. Okay. You guys are gonna get it. All right, I got you. Right. I got you. All right, Ella, let's go to Ella. Let's go to Ella. Talk to me about.
After that, I'm kind of embarrassed to tell you guys how I run my numbers. But I mean, so I basically, have the same exact thing that Lenny has, just that it's just on an Excel spreadsheet, to be honest with you. So we have it. We have a couple of different things. So we will probably 80% of the time we get a number out of the homeowner, and most of the time it's going to work because they understand the situation. So we're really working to see if we can make that happen. But we like to back everything with data. So if for some reason, let's say their asking price is 200 and the best that we can do is 150, and based off that 150, we're basing it out of whether one, there was a complete cash sale within a certain distance from the property, and we can check that on PropStream. So we're looking at cash sales on PropStream. And if we can, anchor them based off of that, we're going to go ahead and do that just to start negotiations, right? If we really can't do their asking price. But typically our goal is to do their asking price, right? So we're in sales and negotiations, but our focus is really customer service. So we're trying to see if we can help out
the seller with their asking price. And sometimes they ask for crazy numbers, but when we have true and authentic conversations with the seller, they realize that we're there to help them versus, steal the property from them. That's when we really can, put ourselves in their shoes, and then they put themselves in our shoes and they understand what we're trying to do. Then we can come to a meeting ground, right? So it's a win-win situation. So we're looking for cash sales right in the neighborhood based on prop stream. If there are none, and the seller is not giving us a number, and that's really, that's basically the worst case scenario, which it does happen. That's when we're going to use our calculator. We try our hardest not to use a calculator because typically a seller's going to know what they want for their property. They've already done the research. They typically understand. Sometimes we'll get people that, haven't been to the property in a very long time, so they really don't understand. But, we're asking, we're trying to build relationships. We're trying to keep them on the phone as long as possible. We're trying to really, go into detail on their situation, the condition of the property. And I've trained our people to really understand how to price out things when it comes down to the repairs, right? So we have a specific spreadsheet that says, let's say if it needs HVAC and it's a 1,200 square foot property, this is how much it's going to cost. So I would say that it's probably a very dumbed down version of what Lenny has, but it works for us, right? That's what we're doing, and it's just an Excel worksheet that we have, and we're doing the typical ARV, 70% rule. Depending on some areas, we'll push it a little bit. And minusing the acquisition fee, and then just making those offers based off of that. If worst case scenario, if now we're doing the cash sales based on prop stream.
I love it. All right, guys. I just got the link. Okay, I got the link from Lenny. We figured it out. If you guys want this link, I need two things from you. Number one, you better hit that like and share button. Share this with all your family, your friends, and Auntie Jane. Share this with everyone. All right, and then put it in the comment section and let me get a oh yeah. If you want this link, put it in the comment section. Let me get a oh yeah, and we're gonna send it right now. Let me see the comments. Let me see the comments. And hit that share button, baby. Come on. We got a few more minutes here. I gotta see the oh yes. I don't see anything yet. We're gonna get it. Oh, here they come. Here they come. Come on. All right. Links being dropped right now. This is Lenny's app. Make sure you guys check it out. Lenny, we appreciate you for sharing this, man.
Absolutely. And guys, so what we're using when we're going to appointments, the only thing that's different on the one that we use is I don't have over here where it says this one says wholesale. You'll see, you'll understand. Anybody has any questions or anything like that, feel free to give me a shout or whatever on that.
Perfect. All right, guys. We covered analyzing the deal, so I want to now transition into two things. We got to keep it quick. I have like 10 minutes with you guys before we open up for Q&A. Let's go over how you guys are handling these rehabs. I mean, the majority of you guys are doing this over the phone. Some of you guys do have someone in-house if you do need to go out, but keep in mind, us as a newbie investor, if we want to analyze a property over the phone, how should we do it? What are we looking for? How do we figure out the numbers? Please keep in mind of time here. Let's go with Lenny first.
So, like I said, I go to the properties. So when I go to the properties, I created an app for that too. so
you got the link? Where's the link? Send me the link.
I don't know if I give that one. Basically, so when I'm looking at the property, I'm going through my phone. I make everything so it's user like I could do it on my phone, right? So I already know, roundabout what it's going to cost me to renovate a property just by looking at it, right? But there's sometimes, I need to really kind of dig in because I only do this because I'm doing this for my buyers because I know they're going to ask me, right? So for me, it's kind of like different. I already know roundabout what it's going to cost. I know that materials are a lot more expensive right now,
Right.
And it's just from doing it, I guess. Right?
You have understanding of your buyers already.
That's right. And that's really that's the reason why I go to these appointments because then I could confidently say, look, I don't even have to really say I have a property might be interested. I already know they're going to be interested. Mm-hmm.
All right.
So use the app. Let's go to David and Eric. How are you guys analyzing the properties? Or like rehab.
Yeah, we just have like in Salesforce we have like a breakdown of all of the like questions you would ask, like how old's your roof, how old's your furnace, etc.
So give me an example. Let's say I tell you my roof's 30 years old.
So here, let me just pull up Salesforce now. I haven't done this in a while, so
I'm not going to be able to share the screen. So
that's okay. You guys can write them down. So we'll ask. Let me see here.
You want me to come back to you so you can pull it up?
Yeah, come back to me.
All right, Ella, let's go to Ella. Renovations.
So the same spreadsheet that I was talking about, we like to keep everything in one place. So what we do is that and I think I saw a question earlier that said, how do you guys make an offer if you guys aren't going to the property? We've trained our acquisition team to ask very intricate questions when it comes down to the condition of the property. So typically we ask a very opening question. So we say, hey, listen, if I were to walk in to the front door, through the front door, what would I see? And you're going to get those sellers that are extremely detailed when they tell you about the condition of the property, and sometimes they're not, right? So if they are, that's amazing. We have the spreadsheet that says, if it needs, XYZ, if it needs a new HVAC, if it needs plumbing, if it needs this and that, and based on the condition and based on the square footage, it calculates as a repair cost, right? It's not always accurate, but we're at least getting the best number possible when it comes down to the repair. We all know we can always figure out something when it comes down to the actual repair cost. So we're doing that, right? So the acquisition is asking those questions, and typically it's just that one question. Now, if the seller is not gonna, be able to provide us with all of the details, we're typically gonna, just based off the pictures on Google Maps, we're going to round it, right? We're literally just gonna round it, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work, and that's why we have a 80% closing ratio. So if we get, let's say, 10 properties under contract a month, we're only going to be closing, 8 of them, right? Because, things are going to fall through because the repairs are more than what we, anticipated. So we might not close a deal, or we can go ahead and renegotiate. We just renegotiated a deal that we got for 70 grand. We had to renegotiate for 45,000 because there was literally no utilities, and the seller never told us that. And we typically try to lean on the seller for everything. So we say, hey, is there anything major that that the property needs? So we're holding them accountable versus us. So that when we go to them, we say, hey, you never told us about this, and we asked you anything major. This is good. This is a major situation. So it just comes down to, asking the questions that we need. And that's part of our process as well, and making sure that our team is also knowledgeable, right, on what questions to ask, how to ask them, and also making the seller accountable for giving us as much information as possible on the property so that we can do this virtually.
Yeah.
So quick question with that, and then let's transition here to David. I'm running real tight on time, guys. So
you have 3 minutes.
You said,
okay, because there was a lot of good questions from the audience, and I want to give them a good amount.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? We got to go back to the audience. I love that. Thank you, Sean. Dave and Eric, talk to me about renovations. How are you guys figuring this out?
So I actually love what she said about, because it's about asking the right questions in a negotiation. You're really trying to understand what they're feeling, what's their motivation, like really let them do a lot of talking. So when you say, hey, if I walk to the front door, what would I see? That's going to open up the door for them to go on and on, right? I like the other, yeah. So basically same thing. We ask for utilities, like when's the last time you updated your roof? When's the last day? Do you have HVAC? Do you have an oil tank? Is it gas? Is your basement finished? When's the last time you updated your kitchens? When's the last time you updated your bathrooms? Does it need you painting? I mean, is paint chipping around the house? What kind of flooring do you have? And that's really all you need to know, and how many units there are and how many bedrooms there are to come up with like a pretty accurate rehab number. Then you go on Google Maps and you see if it needs an exterior lift, and you just kind of punch and play. I mean, all the numbers are typically the same in our markets.
Yeah,
by the way, nobody answered this, but what is like a typical number that you guys would budget for rehab? Just like, so this way people can have somewhat of an idea to follow.
Well, it's line item by line item.
Okay.
There's like major things you need to know. Like the roof's a big one, right? Like if there's foundational issues, that's big. If there's an oil tank, that's really big, right? Like there's, HVAC is a big one, right? Like, or plumbing. Like there's some major stuff that you want to account for. Otherwise, you could probably go by square footage. Like just do a dollar value per square foot.
Yeah, and at the end you go, look, like you seem like a really trustworthy person. And I'm really going to believe what you say to make you a fair offer on your property. So then, you put it on them. You got to put the responsibility of the reno on them. And I actually asked him, I'm like, if you wanted to really bring this up to 2021 value, how much work do you think this property needs? And they might come at you crazy with a great, like a straight high number. You're like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it worked in your favor.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we did cover a lot over the renovation. These guys actually have exact questionnaires. You know, they have exact process. So definitely reach out to them. And of course, if you have a deal you want them to look at, please send it to them. They will gladly check it out with you. I want to transition here. We have literally 3 minutes to answer this question, so a minute each. You guys did the lead generation. You guys have qualified this lead. You guys have went under contract based off your formula. You guys have a very good idea of the ARV. Now, how are we selling these properties today? How are we actually getting paid, getting these to the closing? This is where we get that, our 3 favorite words, baby, clear to close. How are we getting that done? How are you guys finding buyers today in today's market? And is it easier? Is it easier to find buyers today in today's market? Keep in mind, we got a few minutes here, guys. Let's go with Lenny first.
So with me in particular, I've been dealing with the same people for a long time, right? So I just go to the same buyers. But that's the thing so I think people submit a big misconception is that you have to have a lot of buyers, You don't really need a lot of buyers. You need 3 buyers, 3 good buyers that you know you can count on. And that's what you really need to focus on. So I would say the best thing, if I was starting all over again and I was just starting off from scratch, I'd concentrate on finding that one good buyer that you can build a relationship with and a friendship, because they become friends, right? And that's what I would do. You know, I just go to the same people.
So assuming that you were to start off today, where's like a place or 2 that you might go to start building that relationship with, you know, maybe that's 1 or 2 buyers that you want to have a relationship with?
Well, now that, you know, COVID, we were living in COVID times, I'd say, you know, the meetup groups and stuff like that. But you got groups, you got places like, you know, what you guys are doing, right? You're going to find good people really anywhere. And honestly, you know, you put a property on Facebook nowadays, you're going to generate, I don't even know how many people, you know, there's tons of buyers out there, right? So buyers really isn't the concern. It's really just finding the deal. The deal is more important, like I always say, more important than the money. Because you could have somebody with a lot of money that can't get a deal, right? So locking up those deals is very powerful.
All right, let's go to Ella, finding buyers.
Finding buyers. So I agree with Lenny. You don't honestly need that many buyers to close a good amount of deals. But either way, every time that we do get a deal under contract, we're going to mass market. And what I mean by that is that we're going to be hitting up Facebook. We're going to be hitting up Craigslist. We're going to be grabbing all of the cash buyers on PropStream within, let's say, a mile or 2 mile radius, depending on the area. We're going to be skip tracing them and also doing an SMS blast to build more relationships, to build more buyers, and see, you know, who knows, maybe we can find somebody that way. And we found a lot of people that way. Because, you know, we can't go to meetups in North Carolina. We can't go to meetups right now in Jersey. So, you know, we've done it that way. So just to sum it up, Facebook, Craigslist, and SMS blasting.
And so would you you'd have a deal under contract and you would just do you put all the details? Do you put exactly everything in this advertisement? Do you put a little bit how do you do that part?
That's a good question. So it depends, right? If we've done deals with you before and we know you, we're going to give you all of the details. If we're doing a mass market, we're not giving you all of the details because unfortunately there's things that's happened to us in the past, and I'm sure it's happened to a lot of people. But what we do is that we just provide, you know, depending, right, if it's a very known area, we might not put the actual street name, but sometimes we'll put the street name with, you know, the basic details of the property and our idea of what the asking price and the potential ARV. We don't like to put repair costs because everybody does their repairs very differently. But at least we have we do it internally, so we have a good idea. But we would not blast out a property with our repair costs just because everybody does it so differently. But we're not, right? If we're mass marketing, if we're putting on Craigslist, if we're putting it on Facebook, if we're doing an SMS blast, we're not putting all the details on about the property. And sometimes we might just put it in a group, in a Facebook group that says, "Hey, I have a property in Cranford. Would you guys be interested?" And we just generate buyers that way. Or sometimes we'll say, "Hey, you know, we have a property, Main Street, you know, Newark. Anybody interested?" and then we'll say asking price, and it's a single family. ARV is XYZ amount. So when you're mass marketing, I would not suggest putting in the specific property address. But if you have built relationship with somebody and you've spoken to them on the phone, you've closed deals before, or they're kind of out there, I would say that you can share the address.
Perfect. Beautifully explained. Guys, if you guys have not hit that like and share button and this information has been valuable to you, make sure you hit that like and share button now. And also put your questions in the comment section. We are rolling into the Q&A session after we hear from David and Eric. All right, we're rolling into the Q&A session. Drop your questions now. We're going to be flying through these things, getting your questions answered. David and Eric, finding buyers today. How you guys doing it?
Yeah, Ella hit it. So, I mean, lowest hanging fruit. Prop stream, cash buyers in an area, pull them, skip trace them. I mean, that's the easiest thing you can do. Send them a text message. The other thing that Ella might have missed, I mean, you could hit us up. We have tons of buyers, or hit up, local people in the area. Hit up Lenny, hit up Ella, hit us up. I mean, we're not greedy. If it's a good deal, we'll bring a buyer, and we'll take a little finder's fee. And that's a good way to learn your market. It's a good way to leverage relationships without skip tracing or having texting software, prop stream, or any of that. So you could easily do that. Facebook's good too. Join the Facebook groups. I mean, Facebook buyers not always the best. Just be weird. But
Yeah, no, Eric hit it.
Yeah.
Eric hit it nose on the head there. All three of these guys, these callers, these speakers on here, they do actually buy themselves. And if they can't buy it, they have a database of buyers already. So that's one less thing that you have to worry about, especially if you're just getting started. This way you can focus in on finding the deal, and they can definitely walk you through that deal. By the way, they're not asking you to sign up for $1 million course or anything like that. So keep that in mind, even though we love everybody. All right, guys. Q&A time. Let's get this rolling. Drop your questions now. We're asking the questions. Questions are being answered. Let's rock and roll. Wholesale out of Newark, feel free to hit me up. Yeah, dude, I got a lot. All right, so guys, just maybe not everybody answer it, right? Because I got a lot to go through here. What role should the first employee perform? What do you guys think the most important first hire is? Real quick. Cold calling. There you go.
We all agree cold calling? Yeah, I think cold calling.
Absolutely.
Do you guys work with new wholesalers?
100%.
Send me all your deals, every one of them. Run your numbers out first, please.
100%.
So, this isn't a question, but someone says, Lenny, I'm about to come through and grab a cappuccino. I got a shout out for that. I love that.
We're good.
Whoever this guy is hilarious.
That's it.
How much equity do you suggest when stacking a list in New Jersey? From Lynn.
I think we do 30%. I don't know what you guys do.
Same thing.
yeah.
30%. I'd say 30%.
All right, so give me an example of that, just in case someone doesn't know. Like,
So for example, let's say that the property is worth 100 grand. They should only have a mortgage up to 70,000.
Perfect. All right, next
So that's
question.
30% equity.
Perfect. What vendor do you guys use for skip tracing?
Oh, that's a good one. Can I answer that?
Go
Yeah,
for it.
please.
I have
machine.
a map.
No, hold on.
He does, though. He does.
Skipmachine.com. That's our website. We created our own skip tracing platform.
I love
Perfect.
it.
Skipmachine.com.
That's the one.
Skipmachine.com.
Yep.
I'm pulling it up now. Ooh, looks good. I like this.
LLCs
Good.
too.
Wait, there's no LLC. Oh, you'll skip trace LLCs. Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. Anyone know of title companies or attorneys who know how to handle creative financing deals? Good question.
No, Piper.
Scott
We don't
Pfeiffer's
do-
an attorney, Cranford.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no.
Next question. Question to all. Where do you guys mostly operate? Where's your? I mean, we already covered that. These guys are in Newark, North Carolina, Jersey. We didn't hear from Lenny. Lenny, where are your most of your operations?
Central
Jersey as well, right?
Yep.
Central.
Yep. Central
And
Jersey.
Ella, you guys cover North and Central, right?
Central, yeah, North and Central. And then in North Carolina, we do Charlotte and Raleigh.
Perfect. All right. Can you speak about training involved with virtual assistants as well? How do you know that they are doing the work you expect them to do? The management of it. Yep. Please hit on this briefly.
yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, we could literally probably talk about this for hours, but there's 2 tools that I would suggest you guys use if you guys are managing virtual assistants. I would suggest HubStaff. And HubStaff is just a management tool that you're able to see and monitor their screen while they're working, while they're clocked in. That's one thing. For management, on the training side, I would suggest a software called Trainio, and that's where you can create your SOPs and really develop your training platform. And honestly, those 2 things, you're probably going to be ahead of like 90% of the people that do VAs.
I'm curious, you guys like listen to the actual conversation and phone calls? Like you guys audit?
Yeah.
We have a quality specialist in our team that literally listens to every call that's being submitted to the acquisitions team.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Franklin Rodriguez asked, "What are good markets to hit in New Jersey?" You guys want to? What are the hot markets right now?
Whatever you want, man. Make
I
money.
suggest do everything. I mean, there's deals literally in like the weirdest corners. I think Lenny went to a crazy property that we had. Remember the one in where was that in? West Milford. I would never think I would do a deal in West Milford. And I mean, it's super random. We made like, I think we wholesaled that deal for like 40 grand. And that was during COVID. So you can literally get deals anywhere.
Yeah.
But there's, if you really want a higher return on your data and your like capital, I think that you gotta, it's all about distress per capita, right? So if you figure out there's more list pendants or tax liens in some submarket, probably more distressed opportunities there, which means you're gonna have opportunity. Yeah, more deals.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I like this question. You know, we can go on it. Are there enough deals out there for people who are brand new in the business right now? Are there enough deals in the Jersey markets for people who are also doing similar lists?
Yeah, it's all about your empathy, like your ability to connect with the seller. So, yeah, 100%. You just got to be.
I want to touch on that really quickly. We just locked up a deal yesterday in Plainfield that we spoke to the seller back in July. He accepted our offer in July. We unfortunately had our acquisition at that time. She was not working with us during that time since we got the deal under contract yesterday. And when we spoke to him again, he said, "Oh my God, nobody's called me in 6 months. I thought nobody wanted to buy this deal from us." And that's a deal in Plainfield, probably one of the hottest areas to do business out of. For anybody that does business in Plainfield, we got this deal for 160. It's probably worth maybe upwards, 360 to 400 grand. So yes, there's enough deals. It's just a matter of, are you hungry enough to go there and put the processes in place and call as many people to get them under contract. So that to me was insane that deal was in our system and nobody had spoken to them in, 6 months. So, and that was an accepted offer. So if we're missing out on opportunity and it took us 6 months to get that deal, I'm sure that you guys could find plenty of more deals.
Yep, absolutely. All right. How do you guys pay your VAs? Is it commission-based or hourly?
Hourly.
We do hourly and bonuses.
Yeah.
Is there like a range for a rate that people should be, or does it just depend?
For cold callers, we pay $3 to $4 the hour plus bonuses if they hit their weekly or monthly bonuses. We'll give them like between $20 to $50. That's for cold callers. Everything else is typically around that price point. I don't know what you guys pay.
We're slightly cheaper, but we vertically integrate. We have a manager over in the Philippines, and she hires and trains all of our staff. So slightly cheaper, but I think you're very realistic with your number. And we also have a couple VAs in Mexico, and they're a little more expensive, but bilingual, which is good.
Ella, how are you paying your VAs? Like what?
We're paying them through Remitly.
Remitly? I capped out on Remitly.
Just give them your information. They're pressing you for your social. Oh, really?
Did these guys? Unbelievable.
We use Remitly too.
Yeah. It's
for the past month.
You will get capped. I remember getting capped some time ago, but you just have to give them, I think I think it's a federal document and your social security, and then you should, because all they want to make sure is that you're not money laundering.
Gotcha. I think it's the recipient. That was the issue.
Could be.
All right, guys, next question. Can you give me a strategy or two or an example of how to do this with no money and just getting started? a quick walkthrough. Keep it less than a minute,
Door
minute and a half.
Yeah, hit it. Go door knocking.
So just any random area, like should we target that or just go out and practice?
Get one town and learn the values, right? So you're not going crazy. Pull up a list pendants or tax liens lists, all free. Well, it's not free, but it's very, very cheap. I could even send you one. And then pull it against your equity list. You got to have a little bit of money. Pull it against your equity list, tax liens, list pendants, and like stack them. And then just go out in your car and start knocking. That's it.
I have so one list that still generates me money from when I went driving for dollars, like 2016. I went driving for dollars in Metuchen, and I pulled up like, I don't even remember how many properties, probably like 80 properties from 2 days of driving for dollars. And that list in Metuchen still generates me money to this day. So you can go and drive for dollars in probably any area that you see investor action. It could be in Plainfield. It could be, I mean, you could probably still do Metuchen. You could literally probably do Metuchen. It's a super small little area, but I'm sure that there's opportunity. You could do it Edison. You could do it literally anywhere, any place that there is distress and a lot of investor action. And, you know, if you can find 80 properties, you start door knocking them or, you know, figure out what their phone number is, which you could search it up online for free. There's a good opportunity that you'll get a deal. It's going to take you more grunt work. I mean, driving, it's going to be a process, but you could definitely do it.
Lenny, you got something?
Yeah. So whenever I go to an appointment, any appointment I go to, that's what I do. Once I'm done with the appointment, for me, this is like kind of like I don't know. It's fun, right? It's like a treasure hunt. So when I go to the appointment, as soon as I'm done with the appointment, I'll just drive around. And when I'm driving around, I keep it very simple. I literally take a picture. Hold on. This is how untechnical I am.
Yeah.
Picture.
Wait, you're untechnical, but you have all the links?
Hold on. No. I take a picture of the street sign and then I write the number of the house, right? And literally, I don't do it fancy. Then I just send it. I just keep on sending it to the VAs, right? The street, the town that I'm in, and that's it. And then look, I'm not joking, right?
Or you know what? Sorry, go ahead.
So that's basically it. And let me tell you something. I was right. People sleep on those deals, right? The driving for dollars. That is, if I was starting from nothing, that's exactly what I would be doing, because there's deals out there that aren't on any list. They're just, situations you just don't know, right? And people sleep on those. Mm-hmm. I looked out on a huge deal recently, and it was a driver for dollars deal.
And if you guys don't, and I know right now it's probably COVID and you might not want to be leaving your house or apartment or whatever, you can literally do driving for dollars on Google Maps. I've personally never done it, but I've heard people that drive for dollars on Google Maps. It's even cheaper. You don't have to have a car. You don't have to waste gas. You don't have to do anything. You just have to go on Google Maps, figure out a specific area that people are talking about in Facebook. It could be Irvington. It could be Newark. It could be Edison. It could be, I don't know, so many different places, and just drive, right? Literally drive on Google Maps, print out the map, follow, you say on Monday, I'm going to hit up, 10 streets on Google Maps, and you'll make it happen. Just go out there and do it.
One of our acquisition guys did exactly that, was looking at a property that was a lead, spun it around, found a property, looked at our database, called them, turned into a deal. So you can absolutely do that.
Yep.
And this just goes to verify that literally deals are out there right now. So don't let that be an excuse. Mosiah asked, how much money would you suggest to start? Let's assume that you had some capital. Okay, let's assume that you had a little bit of capital. How much money would you suggest to maybe invest into the wholesaling company that you want to start scaling while you scale?
We started with $5,000 each, and that's all we had. So
that's everything, the whole box.
Yeah. So with $10,000, and we bootstrapped it with no more capital, we were able to get to here. So, and we're not even that great. So I'm pretty good with that.
That's a humble response, Eric. Humble response. All right. Go ahead.
I feel like the cheapest way to do marketing, if you have a little bit of money, is just, you can spend a lot of money on data. Like I spent a lot of money on stupid data, and I wish I knew where to get good data. Like I used to go on, what's that? It's Upwork, and have like these guys do it for me, and I thought I was a genius. because I was getting it for so cheap, but the data wasn't that good. So just, it's not that hard. There's probably like tons of guys out there that'll tell you, but you just got to get good data, skip trace it with a good source that's not 50 cents. Don't use LexisNexis. You should probably be paying around, I don't want to hurt your business here, Lenny, so I won't say pricing, but
that's all right. 15,
15 cents. If you're doing volume, like 10 to 12, you got to do a lot of volume, like millions of records. Take that data, and this is it's illegal. It violates the TCPA, but so does auto dialing on a lot of different cold calling platforms. But send out ringless voicemails. I think those are the delivery rates high on those. Text messaging kind of went down with like all the new laws and regulations with carriers. So skip trace the data, get good data, skip trace it, ringless voicemails, and just take the calls yourself. There's a really good podcast you can listen to that'll probably help you negotiate. Michael Quarles, negotiating your way to 1,000 hotels. That's a really good one. Just take your calls and just do it and fail, you know?
I love it. We already got this. Sorry, guys. Slacking. All right. How can we get on your buyer's list? So, yeah, let's say we wanted to get access to your guys' inventory. Do we just touch base with you after this?
Yeah, I mean,
I'll give the contact info.
Yeah, you're going to share the contact.
All right. What's the average profit per deal for a wholesale? And let's say, an average, sure.
So if we're talking about wholesaling, in Jersey for us it's 23,000. In North Carolina for us it's 17,000.
We're about 25, 27-ish in that range, probably.
That's good.
18,000. It's literally fluctuated around that, but that also has to do with using the same buyers, right? Because right. I know if we went out to other buyers, that could definitely go up. But I just like the convenience.
Yep.
You know.
So I guess so. Last two questions here. Would you guys do a deal if there was only a $500 profit on there, and
nope.
if you're just starting off?
Yes, I would do it for $500 if I was starting off because you're basically getting paid to learn. But right now,
I would do it for $0 if I was starting off. But yeah.
Perfect. All right. So let's let this be the last question, and then I'm gonna post up their contact information. So make sure you guys definitely scoop this contact info. Start reaching out to them. I lost the question, but I remember it. And so the question was, let's try and keep it a little short and sweet here. What are your predictions kind of going forward here with the wholesale space? You know, is wholesale going to experience a lot of something coming up? You know, should we not do wholesaling? What are your thoughts on that in the coming year? And we'll start with Lenny, and I'm going to put up Lenny's contact info, okay, as they're speaking. So this is Lenny. There's his number. There's the email. Make sure you guys reach out to them. Make sure you guys download the app. If you didn't get the link, just text him or email him, and he'll be able to send that to you guys, all right? So Lenny, predictions for wholesaling, anything that we should be looking out for? What are your thoughts on it?
So anybody looking to get into this business, they should be excited right now, right? Because this reminds me a lot of back in the day, right? Back in the day, you know, before the crash, we had a default rate basically around like 1.8% throughout the country, right? At that point, you guys saw what kind of damage that did. All kinds of foreclosures happening, everything happening. Fast forward to right now, I believe we're somewhere around like a 12% default rate. They don't talk about it a lot right now. Default rate meaning, you know, there's a lot of people that the forbearances are over. There's a lot of people that just won't be able to pay their mortgages. There's a lot of different situations, unfortunately, that are out there right now. I think the way it was before, they were adding, you know, they were running through everybody, putting them into foreclosure. I think it's going to be a little bit different right now, but that's going to create a lot of opportunity for a lot of people. So, you know, there's a lot of good stuff happening right now. Anybody who's looking to get involved should get involved like now. This is starting all over again, right? And I'm saying, as far as time-wise, I think we're going to start experiencing all this within the next, 18 months. 15 to 18 months. This is what I think.
I appreciate that feedback, man, and we definitely appreciate that, knowing that you've been through some market cycles on your own, and you've continued to show up, man. So and do successful business. So we appreciate your insight. All right, let's go to David and Eric. By the way, their contact info is right here, guys. Leverage companies, hit them up on IG. This is their phone number. Okay, don't go too crazy with it, all right? But there's their number. Hit them up. David, Eric, what are your guys' predictions for the wholesaling business?
If you got, all right, we'll do this at the end. You go.
Yeah, I mean, so we have the lending company and we have a lot of bank contacts, and I think it goes to say, kind of what Lenny was saying is we're going to see a lot more inventory coming in the next 1 to 2 years. With the election, a lot of banks were holding on to their inventory, and then also you had the memorandum you couldn't foreclose, so
Extended to September.
yeah, and that's been extended. So we're going to see over the course of the next 2 years a lot more inventory. Right now, there's none. So prices are high. Everybody's going after the same deals. There's no share sales. There's no bank deals. So if you have deals, you have the power. So right now, if you can get a deal, I mean, you could probably sell it for way more than you could any other time. So get those deals, get those contracts. I hate to say it, even if it's not the best deal, you probably still sell it. So good time to get in the game.
David, anything to add?
Yeah, if you guys do have deals, make sure you call me. Would love to talk to you, figure out how we can make money together. Anytime.
Numbers down below. By the way, numbers in the comment section too, all right, guys? So all the numbers have been posted in the comment section. Thank you, David.
Newark stuff.
Newark stuff. 24/7, except on Sunday as God's Day.
Well, I'll answer the phone on Sundays for Newark stuff. All right, guys. I'm just kidding. Hit up my boys. All right, let's go to Ella. Ella. By the way, Ella's number, IG, it's in the comment section. It's also down on the screen. Ella, what do you feel for the wholesaling markets coming up over the next 6 months, year, 2 years? She muted. She muted.
Just realized I was muted there. So I 100% agree with these guys. I mean, I've learned so much from Lenny over the years. I am 100% in agreement with everything he's saying. It's good. It's going to be even better probably down the road. So I don't see it ever, in my opinion, I don't see wholesaling being ever expunged. And there might be a couple laws that come in from time to time, but you just have to adjust. If you're wholesaling, you're in the problem solving business.
Yep.
And if you excel in wholesaling, you're going to excel in, the whole business, no matter what happens. So if you're a problem solver, if you're good at, being on the phones, you're probably going to do really well in this, whether it's right now, whether it's in 2 years, whether it's in 5 years. But the sooner you start, the sooner you can start building wealth.
Well said.
Yeah,
Man, couldn't have said it better myself, and that was beautifully said. So, guys, this was another amazing show. We literally have had so many people tuned in. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Do want to let you guys know real quick, we do have the Prime membership available. There's literally only a few spots left for our Wholesale Summit. So Prime membership is only $97. Putting that link in the comments now. If you register and pay the $97, you're also going to get the Wholesale Summit ticket for absolutely free. Full day wholesaling event. You're definitely going to want to be there. All the details are in the comment section. Check that out. Last but not least, my audience, we appreciate you guys, man. You guys have been an absolute blast. I personally have learned so much. You want to talk about note taking? All right, I got pages and pages of notes here. So super excited. We appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves tonight.
Elijah, can I say one thing about your membership?
Yeah.
That's where me and Eric met and became partners. So,
was it really? You guys met there?
In New York.
Wow.
Yeah. And one more thing, guys, while I'm talking. We do financing. We'll take deals. So if you guys need financing, you guys have deals, just go ahead and text me. We'll get it taken care of for you. Hey, if you're looking for a job too, we're hiring now. So if you need a salesman, saleswoman, hit me up. We got opportunities.
I love it. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys soon here in the next few weeks. Okay, we'll be having another webinar, but thank you guys so much for your time. If you guys had fun, make sure you like and share, hit up the speakers, reach out to them, start building those relationships, and we'll see you guys soon. Sean, final words?
No, guys, thank you so much. I'm in Philly, so if you guys have anything Philly, need help, please reach out to me. Lenny, I remember when I first met you, I had no clue what you were saying. I was brand new, but now, thank God, I have no understanding. Hello, David, Eric, thank you for your time. I learned a lot on how to grow my business from just being a one-man show to actually making it more consistent and systematic. So, guys, like, really, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. You crushed it. Elijah did great, showing awesome, meeting you and everyone else. Thank you so much.
Thank
All right,
you.
it's getting emotional. It's getting emotional. We're going to take this to the after party. We'll see you guys later. All right. We'll see you guys later.
Thank you.